All right, guys, what's going on? So, wanted to give an update on the truck. After I put the supercharger on, I dropped a DOD cylinder 6 exhaust lifter, and it stayed collapsed and was just tick, 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 tick. So I pulled the whole engine back apart, pulled the heads off of it. I'll put in a video of when I was doing that. I didn't do a whole lot of videoing when I was installing the cam because I really wanted to concentrate on what I was doing, but anyway, I had to pull the radiator, basically the whole front of the engine off. Got the new cam installed. I was watching some other YouTube videos, this P Moore, like 121, I don't know what the numbers are, but P Moore was the first on the guy's channel. He's pretty smart. Kind of followed his advice on getting the timing chain off, walking the chain off without having to take the oil pump and drop in the pan. So that was kind of a pain in the ass, but anyway, it does come off and you can get it back on. Anyway, after the cam install, fired right up after about the third crank, just getting fuel to the injectors again, but it runs good now. I got a wideband O2 sensor installed. If you can see down into my little broomstick here, right there is my wideband O2 sensor. I went ahead and ran the wire up into this little boot here. You just cut a little hole at the end of this nipple, run your wire in through there, and then the wideband gauge is up on the dash right now. I'm getting a custom gauge pod from Block 8 Head that will replace this piece here, and where this little cubby is, there'll be a wideband gauge pod. Basically, the gauge will fit in a hole that goes there. I'll put a picture up of what it should look like when it's done. But anyway, when you wire this thing up, you gotta install a ATA circuit, which is right here, and basically it replaces a 10 amp fuse. Got two fuses in there now for the original circuit, and then for the wideband circuit on top of that. But you want to make sure whenever you put that in there, you want to put a voltmeter and check which side is your source voltage on the fuse, so you actually install it correctly so it is fused. So anyway, after I get my gauge pod, I'll have all this wiring cleaned up, and the gauge it'll be tucked in here. It'll look real nice and factory again. Pretty sweet. It actually works really well. It's the wideband gauge that connects to your CAN bus, so it's got an extension here for your OBD2 port. So whenever I hook my HP tuners connector onto it, it'll actually read my wideband reading straight through the CAN bus. So that's a pretty cool feature. You don't have to do no analog inputs or anything like that. But other than that, got it running MAF only tune. I did tune the MAF curve on it. It was off a little bit from what the factory Magnuson calibration had. Anyway, I got it running really good. The thing is perfect. Fuel trims are good. I'll put a picture up here of a pull I made with it. It was making 575 horsepower at the crank. So I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, I probably won't be doing any more mods to this thing for a while, maybe long tubes down the road, but this will probably be my last video on it. I'll post some videos of the pole inside noise and stuff. It's really not bad at all, so I'll splice all that stuff into this video. And all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and transition into the pull that I made with some inside the cab noise of the supercharger. Then we'll go ahead and go into a cold start video of it, and then that'll pretty much wrap it up. got my tuners logging right here. Fuel trims look pretty good. Zeros, -1s, -2s. After the math's been dialed in. She's running really well, and I'm actually getting better fuel mileage now than I was even stock. Rolling on the highway, it was like 22, 24 at a 75 mile an hour cruise, so can't beat that. Let's see if we can't get into boost a little bit here. You can see it kind of hear a little bit of supercharger whine, but really it's not that dramatic at all. I figured it would actually be a lot more noise. So actually it's pretty much perfect. You can still hear it when you get into boost, but for the most part it's nothing. All right guys, here is a cold start with the supercharger after the Brian Tooley Racing Stage 1 truck cam has been installed, and also after I've already tuned my MAF curve and idle settings a little bit. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll post at you later.